tell me, yep, good for you. Oh. Yeah. Good.
You can see Abhishek. Abhishek is our export marketing head.
Welcome, Abhishek.
I think.
This section of yours is very highly encouraging to us. Nishti,
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
particularly.
So we are live now on YouTube channel of Nishti. And if you are feeling comfortable, Mr. David, we can start the proceedings now, or if you wish, we can wait for 1 or 2 more minutes.
I am in your capable hands. I'm ready whenever you want to start. You let me know and we'll go.
I think people are joining, Vijay.
Okay,
Dr.
we
Vijay,
can wait
people
for
are joining.
Wait for
3-4
5 minutes more.
No issue.
We can meanwhile have some, talks like sharing or chats that's going on here.
You get started, Prabhu.
Dr. Rajiv Agrawal is also there. Anda from South Africa has also joined. Hi, Anda.
Welcome, Anda.
Hello.
And I can see Asha from Saudi Arabia.
Asha is also joined. Yeah, she has joined.
Welcome, everyone.
Others who are muted already, they can raise the hand in case they want to have a conversation now.
And it is always better if you can open up your videos and keep yourself muted so that eyes can see you better.
RP Sharma ji, welcome. Rajiv Agrawal and all others. Akanksha.
Good evening, everyone.
Manoranjan Srivastava. Dr. Surendra Kumar. Asha, you have already welcome. Abhishek is there.
Good evening, everyone.
We have Dr. Samuel Wesley. He is from NIFT, Chennai. He is PhD from IIT Delhi. Welcome, Dr. Samuel.
Yes, sir. Nice.
Welcome, Samuel.
Yeah.
Mr. Bajpayee has also joined. Welcome, Bajpayee ji.
How many did some research? Since everyone is so quiet, let me open up some conversation here because I detest being very quiet in an auditorium. How many actually did some research on this subject? Apart from the guys, apart from the group that is from the mastermind here, the others from the textile industry, how many of you have done some research on this?
Even your voice is still not that clear. What about others?
Really?
I don't know, but
No, we are
We
here.
are-
His voice is loud and clear, Dr. Lal.
Yeah. I'm getting thumbs up from some of the other members saying everything is fine. Welcome, George. Which part of the world are you in now?
You're asking Mr. George.
Yes.
Mr. George, you can
Yes.
unmute yourself.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely, George.
There's only one
Yeah,
George on
I'm
platform.
really. I'm in Adelaide right now, driving.
Good, good, good.
Sonali has also joined.
Yes.
Dr. Vinod Shanbag has joined. Good evening, Dr. Vinod Shanbag.
Welcome, Dr. Shanbag.
Now, Shanbag is our ex-chairman.
Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Very good evening.
Now, Dr. Yadav, I think we can start. There are about over 40 participants already joined. Others will join in the process.
Okay. So good evening, one and all. It is a pleasure in welcoming you all to the learning series of NISTI, wherein we'll have a talk from Mr. David Nair on the pursuit of purpose. So I think it is going to be very enriching talk from his vast 3 decades of experience. As you know, Mr. David is an international speaker, a renowned personal excellence coach and mentor, having, as I said, over 3 decades of experience in addressing the entrepreneurs, the CEOs, and molding their lives. So NISTI, as you all know, has been actively working for the past 33 years into the development of the textile fraternity. NISTI, which came into effect as an North India section of the Textile Institute in the year 1989, over the time has evolved into a stronger organization, and eventually in 2006, it became an independent registered body under the Section 8 company, and being represented by the textile professionals across India, notably from IIT Delhi and the textile professionals from Pan India. It has contributed immensely to the knowledge enhancement of the students, the textile young technocrats and professionals. And with this objective, we keep on engaging ourselves into organizing these kind of seminars, both technical as well as for the overall development of the personalities in the textile areas. With these words, I welcome you all once again and hand over the floor to our chairman, Dr. Arya Lal, for taking it forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav. I won't take much of time. I would only say that NISTI is very fortunate to have the international speaker of repute in the NISTI fold to benefit the NISTI, alma maters and those who are associated with it, with its wide experience. So I welcome all the participants, and then not coming in between Mr. David and you, I will request Mr. Prabhunath Pandey to tell about Mr. David Nair, and then Mr. David Nair can go ahead with his mentoring and coaching, whatever is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lal. Thank you, Dr. Vijay Yadav. And with this, I am going to welcome David Nair in this fold of our NISTI. This is his first lecture or first participation in our this group. A brief introduction has already been made by Dr. Vijay Yadav. However, I will give a slightly extended introduction of David Nair. He's an author, he's an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, coach, mentor, even mentor to me also. And he's a global citizen who travels extensively throughout the globe. Recently, he has been to India, and he has launched certain programs one of that is our mental resilience mastery. MRM we call. We are part of MRM, where he's not only mentoring us, coaching us, but developing us from the roots. David Nair is somebody who is an authority in understanding the human aspects, specifically using NLP. I think everybody knows about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. He has been trained by John Greiner, who is the founder of NLP and very famous throughout the globe. In his coaching program, David Nair uses very simple tools, but very effective. And one of the most prominent of them is knowing your purpose. So today's topic, pursuit of purpose, is going to be now well taken care by David Nair. So I welcome David Nair to start the session on this topic, pursuit of purpose.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you
David.
so much. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And thank you, Mr. Yadav and Mr. Yadav. Do you need some water, that person that was coughing? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for your presence. One of the key things I'd like to address before I deep dive into some topics here is, has everybody got a notepad and a pen? I'm a very basic man. Unless you are here to learn, you are in the wrong room. And I learned this from my father. The day you stop learning is the day you die. So if you do not have a notebook and a notepad, please put up your hand, your virtual hand, and I'll give you 30 seconds to get a sheet of paper. And I'm also taking this platform from a different perspective. I understand we have different echelons and hierarchy of people from different organizations and from different educational strata levels. Let me make it very clear. When we come into a consortium such as this to learn, we leave our chapels outside. We all come on level playing field in a room like this, so we can be open enough to ask questions, number one. Number two, open enough to digest some of the information that is being passed between participants. If a subordinate, I know in some cases there are some subordinates in this room, if a subordinate puts up an idea, it is of value for us to even look at that and consider that, because it could be extremely vital. If you followed Nike's history, the whole turnaround in Nike happened when that decision was made in the factory floor. Let's just go do it. That catch cry came from the factory floor. So I am giving you this philosophy to start with. Please understand, equal level playing field. Bottom line of purpose comes from that. Ideas should not be squashed. Ideas should be encouraged, nourished, nurtured for it to be actioned on. Number one. Number two, I hope everybody is sitting in a comfortable chair, not lounging in a couch and with a TV on one side. If that's the case, I give you permission to leave the room. I'm setting certain standards. A decorum needs to be put in place. This is an educational platform. Mobile phones in silent mode, please, unless it's an extremely urgent case. What gives me the right to stand here and talk on this subject? And it's commonly referred to as, what is your ETR? Very simply put, I am a CPA. So my behavioral science only started after I left my chartered accounting practice. But one of the things that I found extremely important, like we had an early discussion here, people interaction is the vital core essence for any development. organizational growth, whether it's that or whether it is just that individual's growth. It is vital, and we should learn to nurture that. Once I decided, after having 14, I'll put my hands up. Can you see this? 14, 10 plus 4, 14 coaches to take me to where I am today. And I keep telling most of the people I travel and talk with, that's why I am where I am today. I was that stupid. I needed to have 14 coaches. But I tell you what, stupid people get paid very well sometimes. And you've got to now understand the philosophy in which you're going to drive your excellence is not dependent on anybody else but you. And in the course of doing that, one of my burning desires was to go back to my motherland, India. So the first thing that an average Indian youth would do, I was in my 30s then, would be go up to his father and say, I'm going back to India. And the first reaction my dad gave me is, why India? We left India in the 40s. Why do you want to go back to India? I was living in Australia. One of the key reasons why I decided to go back to India was that country produced two fantastic people, my parents, who migrated to Malaysia in the 40s, got into the medical profession, worked in the medical profession, raised up 3 kids, educated them abroad, and I was one of the lucky child to be educated abroad. But let me point out one thing. They worked hard to put that through. Did they have a purpose? No, they had what I call the process plant of life, which everyone in this room would have gone through. And what is the process plant of life? Very simply put, you're born, you go through pre-kindergarten, you go through kindergarten, you go through primary school, you go through secondary school, you go through a tertiary school, you come out with 1 degree, 2 degree, if lucky, 3 degrees. In time, you might come out with a PhD. And if you're lucky, you might get 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. But after 5 jobs, it's time for you to retire. That's the process plant of life. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But I question, how contented is the person? How happy is the person? Is making money the only ultimate source of satisfaction? Or is there something else? And if there is something else, will that something else scale the person up such that his productivity will go up? I'm asking some questions for you to think and reflect. That's why I asked you to bring up a sheet of paper. It's a time for you to do some introspection too. Now, if it is not giving him that introspective view to scale up his productivity, then what good is having a PhD? I ask that question. And that is not to put anybody down who has got a PhD in this room. That is to say, there is a huge blend between human interaction, understanding of productivity, enhancing that such that organizations can grow up with it. One of the best examples of that was Steve Jobs, who left his organization, went into wilderness in search for something, came back, took back the organization, didn't start from where they left. He dropped everything. He got his senior exec to go out and look in the marketplace what the consumer really wants. And then he reframed and restructured and re-strategized Apple to be Apple today. Are you getting my message here? Are you getting my message here? I need feedback, gentlemen and ladies. Are you getting my message here? There is a lot of underlying messages that are being passed. Take note of that.
Yeah.
So the key element here is not to turn around and say, I am in a comfortable position, I will stay here till the day I die. No, it doesn't work that way. You want to contribute, you need to learn. To learn, you need to interact. To interact, you need to make sure you're listening to everybody. listening to everybody. I'd like to raise some questions with you before I go down the path further. When I went into India, there are some things you have to take at risk. I had not one client base, but I had a thing called FAITH, faith. And I had belief in me that I could do what I needed to do. And most of the entrepreneurs in this room would have the same entrepreneurial mindset. It doesn't matter where you come from. Because when I first left in Malaysia at the age of 14, I could say boo to nobody. That's how shy I was. But between that time and when I came into India and started working through India, I was able to address an open air stadium of 40,000 people in Gurugram. Where did that come from? And that's the key element I want people to understand. You need to pump money, you need to pump resource into your self-development. Do not stop at where it is. If you don't do that, when you stagnate, you know what happens to a stagnant pond. It stinks. Now, that's what the product would be. So stop, think, go forward. So I took that faith, I took with faith and went into a country called India. Yes, I did some pre-work. Most of the entrepreneurs would do that. Yes, I did some pre-work. I wrote about 25 to 30 letters to the various Rotary clubs. Only one answered. Only one answered. And I said, damn it, I'm going to believe and I'm going to have faith. And I bought a one-way ticket to this place called Delhi in India. Landed at 1 a.m. in Delhi. Very close associate of mine came to pick me up. Next morning, put me on a Shadabi, which took me up to a place called Chandigarh, which is where I had to do my talk. This is where faith comes in, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where, when you are in sync with your body, mind, and spirit. Listen to this very carefully. Your BMS, I call it. Your body, mind, and spirit. When you're in sync with that, the universe just unfolds. And many people call it luck. And I spell luck this way. L-U-C-K. Labor under correct knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, you make your luck. You've got all the equipment to make your own luck. You have the potential within you. You have the belief system within you. You have everything that needs to be done within you. All you need to know is how to interact with the right people and search for this purpose. The purpose will not come. The purpose will not unfold if you don't work with it. My purpose took me 8 years to get to it. And it was very simply put, to create a mindset shift, a heart set shift, and a soul set shift in 1 million people, thereby improving their lifestyle and that of the next generation. With that little purpose in my mind, I decided to go to India on faith. Landed in Chandigarh, did a Rotary talk in Chandigarh for an hour and a half. They trusted what I did. They saw what I did. It came through transparency. And my host there, Ram Singh, picked me up in the afternoon and said, Mr. Nair, I have my team ready to call for you. I said, what are they going to do? They said, they're going to call Pan India. And we're going to make sure you got enough bookings. You're not going back to Australia with one call. At the end of that evening, when we were sitting for dinner, I had 28 bookings done Pan India. Is that luck? Or is that work done on you? Are you getting my message, ladies and gentlemen? You dig before you need the harvest. Purpose comes when you are so strong and entrenched in what you want to do. You then are moving with that dynamo, with that energy, and that flow of action. Everything just unfolds. For some reason, how many of you had situations, executives here, think about it. How many of you have had situations where you were plagued with a solution that you needed, for a problem and you parked it aside and you continue doing what you're doing. You might have been in a restaurant, you might have been in a shopping center, and all of a sudden, ping, the solution comes to you. Has that happened to anybody? Can you put a virtual hand up, please, if it has happened to you? Please, very quickly, put your virtual hand up. Anybody had a solution given to them like that? Nobody? 1, 2. Anybody else? 3. Put your virtual hand up, Dr. Surinder. Kumar? Who else? Right. Dr. Lal, I think I need to do some extra deep diving into this group. You will get this when you have this body, mind, and spirit synchronity. And that's what many people say, he's lucky, yeah, he's lucky. I don't know what the word luck in Hindi is. If somebody can call it out, that'll be great. So the others will understand that term, luck. Luck is when you put in mind, body, and spirit, and at the same time, link it to the universe and have faith that whoever your creator is going to make it for you. But you got to still go and do. Don't just sit down and like a Maharaja and rub your tummy and hope everything will happen. It won't. You have to still go out and do it. But that's the starting point. Now, let me move on to ask you a couple of questions. And these are directed for you to write down. We won't have time to go through all of these questions in deep dive situation, meaning drill down for you, but you can do what I call a search in Google. Everybody know where that is? You can go into that site and you can start searching for some of this. First question I have for some of you. What does purpose mean to you? What does purpose really mean to you? Think about it. Write this down. What is the purpose of your purpose? Wow, that's a double Dutch. What's the purpose of your purpose? What happens if you do not have a purpose in life? Why should we find our purpose? How you see the people with purpose in their life? What is the impact of our life with purpose? Now, why is purpose so important? Why is purpose the cornerstone to any growth and any development? For the last 3 decades, when I was working through and doing all of this work with various companies in India, senior execs, CEOs, first level, second tier, and third tier managers, one of the key things I found is they were very good technically. They were very good in the infrastructure work. They were exceptionally good in the logistics. But when it came to understand the synchronity of how certain things gel to get rapport within an organization, they failed. And I'll spell that word, R-A-P-P-O-R-T. If you don't know, I don't have time for it today, but you can go into Google and check it out. One of the key things you also need to follow in is when you have a purpose, for some reason, certain things happen. You do not crawl out of bed on a Monday morning. You jump out of bed because you don't have 12 hours to finish a job. There is a difference, guys. A purpose-driven life is a life that is filled with what you want to do, when you want to do, who you want to do it with, in all synchronity based on what you have put on your document of life. How many here have had the opportunity of building an apartment or a building, whatever, factory? Anybody had that? Hands up, please. I need some interaction. Do you own a factory, Ashok? Ram, Mr. Ram, Samuel, where is Dr. Surinder? Abhishek, Dr. Kuldeep, Balakrishnan? You guys don't have a factory? You don't own a building? Did you have to construct something? Anybody? Anybody? Did you have to construct a building? Yes or no? Did you buy an apartment?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Good. Thank you
built a
so
factory.
much. Fantastic. Now, can I use you as an example, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
gentlemen. Fantastic. Now, when you were building that factory, was it just from the ground built automatically, or did you have some procedure to go through?
Oh, it was a really long procedure, Even I would like to thank
Great.
my dad,
Thank you.
who helped
What else?
me in building the base of my factory, because he
Fantastic.
had some experience of building houses, in village,
Okay. Okay. Now,
And,
before the construction
yeah.
started, Adam, before it started, did you have to get somebody to design it for you?
Yeah. Obviously, I built my factory in HSIDC. So HSIDC asks for the construction, map, which has to be passed through architect. So
Right.
based
A
on
floor
the
plan.
machine, exactly, flow chart and complete plan, floor plan, So that has to
Yeah.
be passed by HSIDC in
Right.
Mohali office, and then they allow construction in Haryana. Because that's the
Before the construction, you go to the bank for some money, right? Some funding.
Yeah, no, it was like an auction. So yes, yeah. So,
Funding had to come in. So there were
Yeah.
these processes you went through. The starting point was a blueprint, what we
Yeah.
call a draft paper. Ladies and gentlemen, the same way I'm going to ask you this question before I do the next phase. Please show me your plan for your life. There is stunned silence. What happened? Don't look at me like that, Ashok. It's not a very hard question. I'm asking a very simple question. Where is your blueprint for your life? Ladies and gentlemen, a purpose-driven life does not allow you to go to the next step. It is not goal setting. No. And you wonder why some of us have got diseases we're carrying with us. Some of us have got relationship problems we're having with us. Some of us have got financial problems we're having with us. Some of us have got issues with our children. Some of us have got issues with our clients. Some of us have got issues with our vendors, our employees. When you have a purpose, you're now walking in clarity. You're walking on a plane that allows you to see where the dips, the troughs, and the peaks are. If you're in stock market, I think there are a couple of people here, you will know where the dips and the rises are. So I had a textile company down south, which I had the pleasure of working with. By the way, Pearl Academy was one of my platforms in which, to the person from NIFT here, Pearl Academy was one of the platforms in which I did quite a lot of work, not only with the postgraduate students, but also with the faculties over there, to bring them up to speed in aligning themselves with development work for their postgraduate students, so they could scale them up for a better price negotiation with the vendors when they came from foreign countries. Rather than paying them 15,000 rupees, they jumped up to 45,000 rupees, all because they had a purpose. They had a different mindset. Now, my point is very simple. When you have a purpose, for some reason, you work from a different inside-out solution. Write that word, inside-out solution. So,
David, can I interrupt a little? See, whenever you want to address someone, you can ask Dr. Yadav to unmute him, because they can't unmute themselves.
oh, really? Okay, fine. I thought, Nadeem, you got it unmuted, right?
Yeah, I think I can unmute myself. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I thought so.
Listen,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Nandan, Dr. Nandan, you have been made co-host. That's why you are able to unmute. But if Mr. Nair allows, then everyone can be given the rights to unmute. If it,
I'm flexible. I'm flexible.
That will be correct.
okay,
I think
so
that will be the correct thing.
Okay, I'm giving the rights to unmute for everyone. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good.
Thank you for the
Thank you
discussion.
so much. No problem, please, no problem. Okay, now I raised about 5 or 6 questions to you. I want to just dig dive on one question because that is vital to me. The others are important. You need to go home and do that exercise. I asked the first question, what does purpose mean to you? What does purpose mean to you? Can a few of you just give me some answers on that, either verbally or you can type it on chat? Very quickly, I give you 30 seconds for that. I'm getting you to now get involved in trying to see what we are talking about. What does purpose mean to you? Anybody? You can verbally make announcement on it, or you can write on the chat.
I think for me, can I speak,
Yes,
Dr.
please.
Nair?
Arab, yes.
Yes, Saurabh. Thanks. So I think for me, the meaning of what does it mean by sorry, what's the question? 1 second, let me reiterate the question. What does purpose mean to me?
Yes.
It means to me
Yes.
like a compass in terms of how my life should move. I mean, in what direction my life should move.
Bullseye. You got it right. That's one reason. It's a direction and a purpose, which means you got clarity in where you're going to go. You're not living day by day. That's one meaning. What else is there? What else is there? Very quickly. What else?
Okay, I'd like to answer this.
Please.
For me, purpose is how you do everything in your life. You have a reason for it, and that's why you do it. It's not just aimless.
Excellent. Which means it also helps you with your prioritization.
Yes.
Many people do things that are not required, and hence they don't have enough time. God has given everybody 24 hours, whether you're a beggar or whether you're a crow puppy. It's what you do with the 24 hours that makes you a beggar or a crow puppy. When you have a purpose, things change. There's a dynamic shift in you, and you start doing the things that are not important, but that are vital. Are you getting my message here, guys? What else?
For me, purpose of life is to be happy in any situation.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's like this gentleman, the Dalai Lama, to be happy. What else?
For me, it means that you live your life deliberately, so you know exactly where you are going because you have priorities in place and you work towards aligning those priorities with your life goals so that you find the purpose through your soul.
Fabulous. So now you're bringing in clarity, you're bringing in focus, you're bringing in passion. Hello, this biryani is going to taste nice now, man, with all these ingredients. What else? What else?
David, Sonali here.
Yes, Sonali.
For me, purpose is the strength to deal with any situation. It allows you, when you are asking yourself, why me? Why me? When you get a purpose, you ask yourself, okay, what else? What else? It means that it is bringing you out of victim zone and to create a victory.
Can you hear this? Can you hear this? And I want you to know this lady 3.5 months ago, after my first talk with her, sent me a text message and said, can you do your talk in Hindi? Because I can't understand English. And I said to her, you learn English and come to my talk. Today she's so fluent. That is purpose-driven life. Are you getting my message, guys?
Yeah, my purpose made me with you. That's why I'm here.
Okay, next please. Come on, next. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Can I have a say here?
For me, it is
Yes, Tushar, one moment, please. The next person, Tushar.
Yeah, David,
the
and good
central
evening, everyone.
motivating aim in
Listen.
my life.
Sanjeev, just one moment. I'll come to you. One moment, huh? Yeah, please, Tushar.
I would say purpose keeps a person on track, and it shows you that a challenge is not a challenge. It's an opportunity to grow, learn, and prove yourself to the world. So it gives you a vision that you have never got before.
Can we get a feel for clarity coming through? Can we get a feel for passion coming through? Can we get a feel for, I know where I'm going, man? Thank you so much. Sanjeev, you. Sanjeev, you were wanting to say something.
That was
Sanjay?
George who wanted to say. That
Oh,
was
is it
George who was
George?
trying to say.
Oh, George. What about you, George? You were saying something? It's disappeared. No problem. Anybody else?
According to Sumana, it is my lighthouse of life.
It's like the beacon up there, right? It's a beacon out there pointing you. Great. So now you can understand what I mean when I say, what do you mean by purpose? First thing is it gives meaning to your life. It gives meaning to your life. As I said at the start, you jump out of bed on a Monday morning. You don't crawl out of bed because you're trying to pack a lot of things into that. And I'm not talking about the chillere, the simple things, you know, I got to go to the shop. I got to buy sugar. I got to buy milk. That is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about purpose-driven activity that you put a list on. All the other things are add-on to it. Purpose is more than goals and dreams. Sorry.
That was
Prabhu.
exactly what Dr. Kuldeep Kumar Sharma has put. Meaningfulness in any situation.
Oh, fabulous. Kuldeep? Kuldeep, you should come on to the mastermind. I need to talk with you in there one day when you get the time.
I'm waiting for the opportune moment, David. Let the time come.
Well, I'm there on Thursday nights between 6 and 9. We finish at 8. We can talk between 8 and 9. We can collaborate on a few activities there. Let's
Okay.
move on. Thank you, Kuldeep. Purpose helps you to stay focused. Purpose gives you clarity, as a few people had said today. It shows you the way. When you come out of your home of a morning, you want to go somewhere, you know where you're going. You're not just going to turn left when you know you got to go right. This helps you before you even jump out of bed with clarity. Now, if you superimpose certain rituals and certain patterns in there, you're going to be dynamo. But that is not the topic here today. That, in my view, is a simplistic approach to what do you mean by purpose. In the same way, ladies and gentlemen, please go through and do the same exercise for question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5, and question 6, which was given to you about 10 minutes. Everyone clear on that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Fabulous. Fabulous. So you remember I talked about the process plant that most of us go through. Now, in this process plant, unfortunately, unless we put stops in it and put a break in it, we will continue through the process plant and get the 6 jobs. And then when we retire, we will look back like the log coming down the Ganga. Wow, that was a hungry gremlin. We got gremlins on the system.
Vijay, somewhere, what is the issue? Dr. Vijay?
Yeah, I couldn't get.
Rajdi Pandey is on mute. Yeah, please mute out.
Yeah, Nair sir, very good evening.
Okay.
Very good evening, sir.
Very good evening, Raj Pandey.
Yeah, I think to what comes to my mind, Nair sir, purpose is the creator of all action. If there is not purpose, there will be no action. Sure. Even without purpose, we can't move a step. So purpose is the creator of all action, whether small or big.
Yep, I fully concur with you. Fully concur with you. Unfortunately, many don't see that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyone else? None? Okay, I will proceed. The question I had was, whilst this is happening, when you have your purpose entrenched in you, certain things happen. certain things happen. I'll give you one example. I normally bring in speakers to different countries and they collaborate with me or they work on their own. We actually do engagements of events. I had a speaker flying in from Malaysia to a place called Bangalore in India. And this is going back pre-COVID in 2017. And this lady was supposed to come in on a Friday evening. She was supposed to do the startup of a talk. We had 3 guest speakers and flow into a talk on Saturday and then fly back. I get a call from her about 8 a.m. on Friday morning. And she says, a very close friend actually. And she said, David, I just lost my father. I don't know. I'm currently not clear. I don't know whether I want to do it, whether I will do it, or whether I'll come to Bangalore and do a good job of it. The talk. And I said, it's okay. I can peg in for you, no problems. I'll take your session, or we will get another speaker. She said, no, but that's a commitment that I gave. And it's, if I do shrink on my commitment, I am unconsciously telling my subconscious mind, next time something else that comes up, I will find an easy way out of it. Look at how far she switched it, huh? I hope you're following my train of thought here. Within a split second, she switched it. And she said, Dave, if I come, if I stay at home in Malaysia, all I'm going to do is cry. The funeral is not till Sunday morning. I'm thinking I can come over. And if you can assure me I could fly out on Saturday afternoon, I can be here Saturday night, pre-death arrangements, and Sunday we can go for the funeral. Can you assure me that? I said, I'll get all hands on deck to get you back to Malaysia by 8 p.m. She comes to the program. She does a fantastic talk because she gave her heart and soul in it, man. Knowing very well her dad is there. Her family is there in Malaysia. Everyone are mourning the death of him. I'm not saying everybody to do that. Only a purpose-driven life will do something like that because she knows she has to. I use the same illustration when I talk about a mother who has an accident and the car rolls over down an embankment and the child in there, she's thrown out of the car and the car sets itself in flames. The mother finds strength inside of her to pull open the back door, get the child out of the cubby chair and flee away from the flame. Inner strength, we are uncertain how powerful we are inside of us because we have not stretched, we have not tapped it. And most of us are working on the peripherals thinking I've done a good job. Steve Jobs didn't do that. Elon Musk is not doing that. So take stock. I'm only skimming the surface of purpose here. And for you to really understand how it can benefit you, I'm going to cover about 20 to 25 elements, how it can benefit you health-wise, productivity-wise. Let's open the subject now. So guys, do not play with this subject. We can only touch the tip of the iceberg today. First and foremost, the benefit purpose gives you. Number one, it gives you meaning to your life. We covered it just now. Your breath of life comes from purpose. I tell a little story out of this. There's 2 people doing a similar task. One does an average, mediocre task. And he puts that task on a tray with some flowers and offers it to his creator. The other stretches and gives his best with passion. He creates whatever he has to do and puts it on a tray and offers it to that creator. Which of the 2 tasks do you think the creator, without any bias, would show a bit of favoritism to? Task 1 or task 2?
Task 2.
Say no more. Why? Because it's not because the person has done it. It's because you did that extra to give it on that silver platter. Now, my point to you is, what was the difference? If you look at the difference in activity and what needs to be stretched, it could have been just microcosm, just like a gold medal and a silver medal, microsecond. Why aren't we pushing ourselves across the boundary for that? Because we don't have a purpose. A purpose-driven person will drive it till it is done and go beyond it. Just like when John F. Kennedy made a statement in 1960s, we will put a man on the moon by the turn of this decade. Apollo mission was not even started. But guess what? From 62 to 69, all machinery started to run Apollo 1, Apollo 2, Apollo 3. July 1969, Neil Armstrong lands on the moon. And he makes this one statement: a small step for man, a giant leap for mankind. Because of purpose, because the youngest president had a vision in his mind. He wanted to prove something, not to the world, but to the country called America, that we need to get out of this black syndrome and we need to do something better than what it can do. And that's what got the man to the moon. Now, where's your purpose? Do you work your business like that? Daily? That's what I mean. It gives me meaning. It gives me meaning. Is this making sense, guys? It gives me meaning. Simplifies life. You don't have to worry. Your decision making is filled. I'm so sorry, Sumana, you got a hands up. Please help me with a question.
No, I'm not here to help you. Here to ask you a question, David. May I? I have a query for you. May I please ask you?
Please.
What would be, as per you, what would be the difference between knowing the purpose and being in pursuit of the purpose? How would you, put that in? Because most people here seems to know that a purpose is the reason for their actions, so on and so forth. But how is it to be in pursuit of it as well when you know it?
One, you're in pursuit for a purpose before you know it. Your pursuit will be different to after you know your purpose. There are two different levels of pursuit here. As an example,
after you know it.
Yeah. Then you got just what I call bullseye, like the horse. The blinkers are on, which means nothing can distract you. Like what happened with Iskandar, the lady. In spite of her death, she was there. And I know of a few other people who did that also. And that's why I have respect for people like that. Not because of the death, because they will stretch beyond. So a person who's pursuing purpose will be at a different cutting edge to one that knows the purpose. And okay, let me coast with it. Thank you. And what you got to understand, guys, is if you sit still, forget your competitors. The world will just go past you. And your kids will get up and say, Dad, you had an opportunity for that. What happened? You can answer to the child very easily with 101 excuses. We have a program to fix that too. Ask some of the people in this room, and it's called NENN. It'll fix you right. Okay. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, let me move on to the next element. Benefits of driving a purpose. You focus your energy on, just now I mentioned it. You see, you're working, if you're working with a team and all of the people are of the same alignment, like here, I think, was it Abhishek? Who was the gentleman that had his team here today? He had mentioned it, Balakrishnan, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, Bala, I salute you for that, because very rarely, listen, you're not allowed to have your dinner here, okay? You got to share it with me also, yeah? Bala? I just saw you chewing on something and I got it caught you red-handed. Don't be embarrassed. That's me.
No,
That's
no,
me.
it is.
Okay. Now, I salute you because you got your team here. And the element that most people don't understand is, if I give this information out, I will not benefit. Will I lose something? Guys, get rid of that selfish mentality. There is enough abundance in this world for everybody to share. And when the knowledge is shared, and here's a CEO, I gather, owner of a business with his team of people, and he says, I brought my team because I want them to also understand. So now when they go back, they're all on the same page. Okay? And when they're on the same page, guess what? Now when they talk about something, they're all aligned to thinking. That's exactly what happened when I was asked by this company from Trichu in South India, a manufacturing company for singlets and all of that. And they did the same thing. They had a vision, mission, core value up there sitting on the wall everywhere for about 8 years. Their daughter was working with McKinsey's in America. She came back and heard about me and she said, David, we need you to come and revamp our company, which we did. When we revamped the company, this is what happened. The textile company sat down with the founders. We said, we need what your thoughts are, where you're going with this vision, mission, and core value. And he said, oh, we've got it all in the board everywhere. And I said, that's very good. When I went down to the grassroots in the factory, none of them knew anything about it. So we did a bottom up by doing a brainstorming and getting everybody in together. And within 3 weeks, we revamped the mission, vision, core value. Within 26 months, they 10x their business from 40 crores to 400 crores.
Wonderful.
Now, that doesn't come if you pay on your own. That only comes when you work with a team.
Absolutely.
All on the same page. I salute you, Balakrishnan.
Thank you.
I hope that makes sense. And that's one thing I just mentioned. Focus on the energy, and you then turn around and you work as a team to motivate the group, not one-on-one, collectively. Let me just run through some others. Health benefits, physical benefits, psychological resilience. Let me just pick up anyone in that group of MRM here. Would you like to just volunteer one thing that you'd have got out of mental resilience? 3 months of it, 90 days. Sumana, thank you.
Health, wealth, relationship, as well as a very new definition of recreation. So I'll go one by one. I was diagnosed with incurable disease like about 2.5 years ago. And even me being a doctor myself started to believe that I'll never be able to be out of that particular disease, chronic pain disease. And I worked myself up. Sometimes what happens is inside us, we have a very deep, we want a need inside that I want to get out of this disease, but the entire world says that logically it's not possible. I started mental resilience mastery with David to get out of the fear of getting into a relationship. And I got that. Plus, I got myself out of the health issue as well, because the resilience factor or getting your purpose. And as I said, it gives you a lighthouse. So it becomes your lighthouse. So wherever you look at it, whichever sphere of life you look at, it just blows that light high with what I need, what I want. It focuses on that particular scope. And I saw that happening. I cannot actually put it into a simple sentence because it's a series of actions, a series of practices that we did. And I ate up most of the remaining brain of David Nair to be able to do that. At the same time, yes, I did get out of my health issues completely. I'm completely cured. I went into my relationship, which was my primary goal for coming in this. I started seeing recreation in a very different way. Before, I used to see recreation as a way to get out of my work, but now I see part of my work as my recreation, and I give a lot of time to family. I used to always say that let me first, have career till my 40 years of age, and then I'll give time to my family. And now I have a very good balance of every day I give time to my family as well as do my career and business work. I am an owner of organization and freelance trainer. So I'm not a 9-to-5 worker. So just letting people know that, because, you know, I have to seek my job and then do it. So that being said, the overall thing that I got is that resilience. In every day, I have time for my family, for my health, for my wealth, for my spirituality, whatever, as well as recreation every day. And that's because I have that resilience. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sumana. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an overnight system that can change. It's like you're turning the light switch on, next minute the light comes on. You can turn it off, next minute the light goes off. This is a period of time that you need to nurture your inner self. I think Kuldeep made comment, inner engineering. Kuldeep, this is more than inner engineering from the perspective of stripping yourself and then rebuilding you. And that is what we do when you talk about purpose-driven life. Purpose-driven life. What are some of the other things? It enriches your spirituality. I'm not talking religion here. I'm talking spirituality. Now, you can see a person that is wealthy from a spiritual context, and you can see a person that is wealthy. There are two different. And you can see them chalk to cheese when they walk down the road. And that's what we're talking about. Number two, you also will be able to turn around and align yourself with your kids, with your family, with your extended family. Because now you have time, as Sumana was saying, you have time for that. You will then turn around and say, is this of importance to me? I think like Sonali mentioned, you can then prioritize your work. You can carve out the non-essentials. So you're now getting up in the morning with a task list of 6 things that are purpose-driven for the day to complete. And the rest of it goes into file 13, the rubbish bin. Do it when you can.
Go by rickshaw, Manoj. Yeah.
Is that something for me? No. Okay. Now, how many of you here had a meal this afternoon? Hands up. I need some virtual hands there. How many had a meal this afternoon? Hello? Nobody had any lunch? Hello? Is there anybody with a lunch this afternoon? Anybody had lunch this afternoon? Can you put your hands up? Your virtual hands. Come on, guys, interact with me.
Everybody has put their virtual hand up.
Oh, I can't see any of them. Really?
That's the reason I'm helping you again.
Oh, I can see the first page. Yeah, I can see the first page. I was on page 4. Excellent. Now, when you had your lunch at 12 o'clock, you gave instructions to your body to say, I've just had some carbs, digestive juice for carbohydrates, come out now and digest. I just had some meat, digestive juice for the meat, come out and digest. Is that what happened? Or did your system do it for you? What happened? Did your system do it for you? You can put an S in your chat box.
It is an automatic system. You don't need to spend time and energy there.
Excellent.
You can even do multitasking at that time.
Which means like if you are with Rajiv, you'll go through every meal that is there. Yes. Now, the same thing happens with your emotional component, and whatever happens inside of you, there is a thing called dose chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. Now, these are spikes and troughs, peaks and troughs that happen. When you are in a dopamine hike, your moods fluctuate. You can regulate it. Sleep digestions, helps you with your learning abilities, gets you up in the morning, tells you you got to do rituals. No, you do your rituals and it will grant you extra dopamine if you decide to do your rituals. If you don't decide to do your rituals, it won't give you that. Oxytocin, the same thing happens. You become a stronger parent. The connection, the empathy, the trust is built. Just like what Balakrishnan did just now. He brought his team here. He built trust and his oxytocin level has just gone up. He can't see it, but it has gone up.
Right.
By these type of activities, certain things happen to you. And when that happens, guess what you're going to do? You're going to be in a situation where you are absolutely fixed for growth. Let me go to the next chemical, serotonin. What happens there? The repeated activity. There's a doctor that actually harps this on us every morning. Dr. Alka, it creates a traction in your brain, like your rail tracks. The traction is there constantly. And guess what happens? Just like your multiplication table, Bala, I'm going to ask you, Balakrishnan, arithmetic, mathematics. 3 multiplied by 3, sir, what is that?
9.
8 multiplied by 2?
16.
Now, when you were a child of 3 and 4, were you able to answer and respond like that?
Obviously not.
Excellent. Somebody had to give him some pain in his bottom so he could get the gain in his head. And it happened. Now, in the same way, today, with this traction, guess what's going to happen? You now scale up your serotonin levels. You scale up your oxytocin levels. You scale up your dopamine levels. And that basically helps you. It helps you with your relationship, with your emotions, unknowingly. And I'm not going to forget the last one, endorphin. So those 4 dose chemicals are vital. Now, purpose gets you into this zone. It gets you into this zone. And you have no choice but to be in that zone to benefit from it. Are you getting this, guys?
Yeah.
Now, that is why we say, spend time with yourself in solitude. Get your purpose-driven activities intact. Crystallize it. Then let's work on all the other things. Open for questions.
Wonderful.
Any questions? Open for it.
Yeah, Dr. Nair, I have a question. Can I ask? So if I look at the questions which you had asked in the beginning, the second question is, what is the purpose of your purpose, right?
Yes.
Now, if I were to answer for myself, what I have understood your explanation, are you saying that the idea of the purpose of purpose is to get get best out of you, gets clarity, and if you get clarity, then obviously you become more confident. Is this the purpose of finding the purpose of the purpose?
You're now defining a purpose, and you've got your purpose. Now you sit back and you reflect and say, what does that purpose mean to me? What am I going to get out of that? Where is it going to drive me? And that is reanalyzing your purpose. And you need to do that constantly. That's why that question is there. Because your purpose is a volatile situation that moves up and down constantly with time. Okay? Now, when you are deep diving into a situation that we are involved with a group, we actually go into sectors such as the 4 quadrants. I'm not going to cover all of that today. What areas you need to focus on and how it impacts each of the areas of your life and so forth. So the key element here is for you to step back and reflect upon the purpose you wrote and see if it is in line. That's what that is.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot for that.
David, can I just add something here, please?
Please, go ahead. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. So, because Saurav asked this question, and this must be many other people also must be thinking that what is the purpose of my purpose? Why are we deep diving into it? The point is that the purpose is like a two-sided sword. Okay, it has a two-edged sword. So it will serve you, and it will also serve your legacy by doing something more than you. via you it will serve the universe in a way. Now it can be a very simple job of sweeping the church every Sunday. This can be a purpose. Simplest. Feeding 100 people if Prabhunath Pandey completes his certification. That's a purpose. I had this as my purpose and I did it. I actually fed 100 kids after my buddy, my friend Prabhunath Pandey, completed his certification. So these are purposes. Now, this purpose of me doing this is not only serving me, it's serving him as an inspiration to get that done. It's feeding 100 kids. So that's the purpose of the purpose. I mean, when you are seeking a purpose, you're not being selfish about it. You're looking at how is that going to even serve the entire world if I...
Yes, fantastic, fantastic.
So can I come in, Dr. Nair, once again?
Yeah.
But is it not that? So I think that's like expanding the purpose, what Dr. Suman just mentioned.
Yeah.
So as in like you have a purpose which then becomes more purposeful. I mean, it gets expanded to go beyond you, which we typically in Indian context we say yoga, to not only be you, but you become part of the cosmos, to that extent.
Very much so.
Very much so. As for now, it would be not expansion, but exponential sort of. And it will be exponential, something which is like growing and growing and growing.
Correct. Yeah, that's the speed of expansion.
Good. Clarified? Good. Who else? There's another person. Hemal Shah. Would you like to ask your question, please? He's not there. Good. Any other questions, ladies? Any other questions?
I have a question. This should be what David you mentioned and what the purpose. The purpose. I mean, and should we be talking about whether it is serving somebody else or should we be sticking to the focus in life? Because when we do something that's good to others, that's good purpose. How does a thief whose purpose is to steal still be focused on his purpose? We're discussing purpose, not the quality of the purpose. And this
it's both. It's contributionary and self. It's both. You will see when you develop your purpose will not be just self-driven. Thank you. So it is not just self-reliant, it is more driven towards outward. Therefore, you will be looking at you achieving whatever you have put together, in addition doing the contributionary aids for whatever community, whatever areas that you want to contribute towards. It happens that way. And the bottom line out of that all is to get contentment. That's the bottom line which we are driving towards. And when you get that happiness and contentment, it is far superior to what you will actually only achieve from a monetary gain in dollars and rupees. And you will grow with it, which means this year your purpose will evolve, next year it will evolve even more, and so forth. Make sense? Fabulous. Any other questions? Great. Now, one of the things if there's no questions, I'd like to sort of touch on a subject. While we were talking about mastermind and mental resilience, I had the privilege of working with 50 great guys in India, South Africa, and UAE. And in the course of doing that, I found those guys too did not have purpose. This started in February, March this year. They too didn't have purpose. And that's not to put them down because that seems to be the knack. So we sit down and we said, okay, I want to drive a book. I want to get a purpose to it. So we talked on purpose. We got purpose going. We did some brainstorm. And in the course of doing all of that, we actually launched a book called Grail. Tick Your Life Right with Purpose. It's an anthology written by 30 authors, one chapter each author, who in the course of doing that, they actually opened their heart, soul, and mind out displaying how they work towards achieving their purpose. Totally self-funded. None of the proceeds from the book goes to any one of the authors. It goes to 2 charities in India, one to the aged community and the second to the displaced kids' education. Now, as part of that, because the organization seems to be growing constantly, we now got a second batch that have arrived, and we're in the process of releasing the second edition to that book, which is an add-on to the original, which will have another 25 to 30 add-on chapters, which means now you're going to have 60 odd chapters in there, roughly 50 plus chapters. And each one of those new authors will be sharing their pursuit in achieving their purpose. The point I'm making this exercise is, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking about this. I shared with some of the team members and I said, why don't I kickstart launch next edition today? And that's what we are doing. We're launching the edition of Grail today. The book is not on publication yet. Yeah, thank you so much. The book is not on publication yet, but it's been driven towards publication by the end of Q1. But for all of the people that are listening to us, whoever is out there talking, for you to pre-order the book at the same price that we had it last year. Prabhu will have the details of it. I don't showcase any of the details because to me, that's not the marketing strategy I use. So Prabhu will have, as the coordinator for this particular organization, will have the link for that. In this case, you're going to have approximately 50 plus chapters for the same price as what we had, the 30 chapters. And the book should be in your hands by Q1 end. But it's only available to those that order on the pre-order at that particular price. Thereafter, the price will be scaled back to the norm. It's been a global book. It's been a very good bestseller in a number of countries. And so what I'm going to suggest to you is have a look at that, get a few copies. Many organizations have taken it. Get a few copies, share it with your teams, and let them read through it. Nothing lost.
David, I have already put the link of our website.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
So people
Very
can
good.
go there and look at the section of pre-booking, and they can pre-book from here.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I mean, you got a good team, man. Yes, Sumana.
Sorry, I just want to come in a bit here because, you know, David goes in a flow, guys. David goes in a flow when he talks about, he's very emotional about this book. He just went in a flow and said everything about how what the people wrote and what the author wrote, but did not talk to you about what is this going to do to you as a reader. So when, you know, 30 people come in and talk about their hero's journey, for not finding any better word for it, really their hero's journey, like how bad situations they're faced in their life and what have they done about it. So when you get 30 such people talking to you every day, like via that book, you know what, the one thing that it always will give you is that drive. No matter how dark days you are or how confused day you are, you know, putting in today, you'll take like 5 minutes, look at least one of the chapters, you know, even 1 or 2 pages, you just read through and you'll get that vibe to restart the day. That's one of the reasons. And that I'm not saying it by myself. There's some of the testimonials say about it that, you know, when we go through, when we are confused about the day, we're confused about, we've been doing something, we couldn't achieve it. I look at this book, I read 1 chapter out of it and I'm snapped out and I can restart my day. So we, even among ourselves, we do that. We 30 authors, we do that sometimes. We read each other's chapters and get out of our, you know, issues and face the life, face the purpose, go about it. Because whatever David said today and whatever we are saying is never motivation. It is about action. We are taking actions every day. And no matter how good or bad your days are, as long as you're consistently taking your actions, you're there towards your goal, towards your purpose, towards your life. So that's what this book is going to go give to you. And for that, whatever the price is, the book is priceless anyway. So it doesn't matter. So all the best. And I hope to, you know, we'll have you guys more on all of this. And me having on in this platform as well. Okay, thank you, David. And also, I'm just adding on to what you said, David, not taking from you.
No. You're doing a good job. I love it. I love you.
If further adding
Okay.
to it, David, further adding to it, there will be
Yeah.
addition, more authors, more chapters in this edition. So it will be an, expansion of anthology of purpose. So you will have more case studies to go through and definitely benefit. Yeah.
Good. Very good. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, one last question. Anybody have any questions? Wow. You should be out there flying to the moon now, guys. I've given you everything you need for purpose. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yadav and Dr. Lal. Thank you so much. And Prabhunath, thank you for organizing this, and the whole team for coming up, small sector of the team. And ladies and gentlemen, pleasure being working with you.
Thank you.
Take care now. Thank you.
Dr. Vijay Yadav.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. David. Professor Shanbag, would you like to give a concluding remark?
I think it's been a very interesting an hour and a half spent with Mr. David. He wasn't doing the usual presentation type of activity that we are all used to, and sort of making it interactive, which was very interesting. But the central ideas that he placed with us would have activated in our own minds the fact that most of us have been working with a purpose. He has made us conscious about it. No, there can't be any kind of achievement in life without purpose, because purpose gives direction, it gives focus for energy, it gives focus for drive, passion, whatever what the ingredients that have to get into meaningful activity, resulting in successful achievement and resulting in benefit for many. It also helps in collective mobilization and building rapport with a large number of people who can then team with you to achieve the purpose that you have set for yourself. This is something which all achievement oriented people are all thriving on all the while, and perhaps the biggest role model for this before us will be Mahatma Gandhi, if I'm not mistaken, because I think precisely he set a nation into motion to achieve independence, and led with a very clear idea and vision of of his purpose. So thank you, Mr. David Nair, for spending these beautiful, sharing these beautiful ideas. What I like was ideas should be nourished, and which is very true, because that is what that is what it's all about. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Professor Shanbag. And as we come to the end of this particular wonderful webinar, I thank Mr. David for this wonderful talk on the purpose. In fact, the various dimensions of the purpose which you have given, in fact, it makes one realize that the purpose is taking him in which direction. So thank you very much, Mr. Nair. And I thank all the participants who have attended today. It was more than 65 plus participants. We wish to announce that we'll be giving the certificate of participation only to the interested ones, because I received a couple of queries from the participants whether we'll be issuing a certificate of participation. So you can drop down the details in the chat box. So we have given the slot of 6 to 6:15 p.m. But now also, if anyone wants, they can drop a message, and we'll be happy to issue the certificate of participation. And I thank all the executive members of the NISTI for conceiving this program, especially Mr. Prabhunath Pandeyji for taking the initiative in connecting Mr. David with the NISTI fraternity. I thank the participants once again and look forward to more such engagements in the near future. Thank you very much and a pleasant evening. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.